How do you take the stories of one's elders and show them to younger people and keep that alive? That's the past, that's their history. Stacy, Doiron, and I were thinking that this would be a really interesting project because you could gather the stories of elders, and then what will we do with those stories? So we thought, if we make it into a book, that's already been done by another group, but what if we made a performance out of it? I feel like it's an intergenerational project in a sense because the elders tell their stories to us. We animate them, we bring them back to the community, and in a way it's like you value the wealth that you have in terms of elders in this province. And the magic was that it came together in the end. Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to show you this. Chrissy Pike's sister-in-law, and Chrissy Pike, of course, is one of the elders who lives at, is a resident of the RK MacDonald, and I spoke with her many times and spent some time with Chrissy, and I wrote a song inspired by this photograph of her when she was 14 years old on this motorcycle down at the fish hatchery. But I think it speaks to the root of the project in that everyone has a story and everyone's life is important, and trying to capture that and capture memories and share it. I love that picture.
Sun is rising high, burning into the day. I will say goodbye, I'll be going away. Brush away my doubts, what tomorrow will hold. I'm feeling fine for now, I'm going down the road. I'm feeling fine for now, I'm going down the road.
Why did you go to Toronto?
Well, there was nothing to do around home that you could get to do. And I just took the notion, Toronto. As good a place to nothing as I could get.
Yeah. And you worked at the
Continental Can,
Continental Can. And that, when you say plant, that's where you, when it was shut on Friday, you'd head out of town.
Yeah.
Would you get back to work on Monday?
If I wanted to.
If you
I got the 5161 Harley Davidson Hydroglide, they called it. And it was the best thing the best move I ever made.
You was from Surrey, Pete Yacht. Now I also worked at Shearbrook Village in the 70s.
No, you didn't.
I was the blacksmith and carpenter. I moved to Ontario in 1949. I stayed for 16 years. 16 years too long, in my opinion. Now, when I lived in Toronto, I got so fed up with it. In the morning, walk to work to the Continental Can Factory, and I'd hear the seagulls calling. It made me so homesick. But on the motorcycle, that was my way of getting over the next hill and around the next bend.
Yes, I'm telling his story, but it's not because he can't tell it. He can very well tell it. And it's just another way of sort of sharing it and making things come alive, I suppose. To me, it's parts of the performance that has the most heart. And that comes from the details and the depth of story that Everett shared with me. And hopefully I was able to convey some of that to the audience.
It just opens everyone's minds a little bit more to elder care and elders themselves. We get to hear and see the residents on a more personal level instead of just a work basis. So that's pretty cool. I did see a few people come in and gather a few stories, and I didn't fully understand what it was at first, but then I learned that it was going to be put into a production. So that blew my mind.
One painting. One painting that still remains with me. Blue irises. The next day, they were gone.
When I went in to visit with Hank, and he said, "Oh no, I don't play anymore. You know, I don't sing anymore. I don't play the guitar." It's kind of just at the beginning. This is what he was saying. By the end of it, he was taking his guitar and sharing songs with me. Like, he actually started playing again. It kind of gave him a reason to get back into it.
Listen to that whistle blow, look at them wheels and watch them go. No more will your love cause my heart to pay. Cause freedom, honey, is what I want, and I'm gonna take a little jaunt. My blues will soon be gone on the bachelor's train. That song came in at number 10 on the Canadian country music charts in 1954. My name's Hank MacDonald. I made most of my success in Ontario in the 50s and 60s. But the life of a touring musician wasn't easy, especially for a family man with kids. I'd play every Saturday at the arena in Wingham for the Barn Dance Tour. I cut 2 records with Quality Records, the same label that signed Johnny Cash. I didn't get rich off those records, but the label sure did. This next song is a song I wrote in Wingham just before I left.
I enjoyed watching the elders' faces as they were watching. While they were telling their story, you could almost see them come alive, and, you know, reliving this memory was pretty special. I mean, it's not history per se, it's something you want to learn in school, but I mean, it's about their past and very interesting to hear. And
the whole community seemed to be very interested in this. And why is that? I think it's because the elders were telling stories that somehow people recognized. Like, these stories resonate with us.
Grandma is standing perfectly still and straight as a pencil. I can see her out of the corner of my eye. I'm worried the pigeons will dirty my hair.
The story was really interesting when we got going, and when she started using the picture, it was amazing.
I tried to imagine the story of that day, and I read you what I'd written, and it probably wasn't quite right.
No, it sounded great.
On September 3rd, 1939, feeding the pigeons.
Having taken the night train from Newcastle to London.
Yes, that night train. That's right. So that's your grandmother, and that's you when you were 5.
My grandmother, Ada Clark.
Ada Clark.
We haven't come all the way to London from Newcastle just to see the pigeons. Grandma has a meeting to attend. It's a meeting of the Labour Party, so I think it's a party. But I know it's not a party. War has been declared.
I thought it was a wonderful experience. I felt it really an emotional performance. Seeing those stories of the people that I've come to know quite well here come alive on stage, really, and watching reactions of them and their families in the audience. I saw a lot of really nice interactions between the elders and the young artists. You could tell it was very positive on both sides. They were really proud that their stories were listened to and note taken, and then watch it all come together in a public performance.
What's your name for the camera?
Charles Leblanc.
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 From?
Mattegan.
Mattegan, near La Violette?
Tout proche de Ma Villette.
Too proche.
Tout proche de Ma Villette, ouais.
Et the spoons.
Well, I played that when I was a kid.
Really?
We'll do the whole first figure and then
These are the heads. Forward on the head.
I'm kind of a folklorist, so I'm always researching old songs and dances. That was a good way for me to find out more about the county around here and the way things used to be and what the dance culture was like. I have particular interest in that because over the years I've asked a lot of people, what was it like, what kind of dances did you do, where were the dances, and like were there callers and what kind of musicians were there. So I was able to, you know, find out more about that, something I've had an interest in for a long time. Colleen Benoit, she used to call the dances in Guysborough back in the day because she started playing at them when she was 11 years old because her parents played at them. She taught me a full like 5-figure Guysborough square set, and I tried to bring it out into the community.
There'd be about 40 or 50, mostly young people. There'd be 2 square sets going at once, all night.
Why doesn't someone bring back the square dances? Everybody loves them.
I think it has a great deal of value for the elders and their family members, as well as the community at large. I felt like, for me personally, that I was just a conduit, sort of a vessel for these stories that were much bigger than me. There's still lots in here that never, ever saw the light of script, but I suppose it ended up being picking what most resonated, sort of things that linked together. If they really connected with someone, like Mary Beth did with Colleen about the square dances, if they really connected and needed and wanted to tell this part of the story, there was a chance for them to do that and contribute that to the script as well.
People's stories were so full of humor and so full of history, you know. I'd really like to see it continue, mostly for the well-being of the people that I met. When you take an interest in someone in their life and make them feel like they're someone unique, then that really does a lot. Self-esteem and morale.